What's up, YouTube? Georgia Silver Hunter back, and today we're going to do something a little bit different on the channel. We're going to do a foreign currency coin and cash hunt. So I was searching nextdoor.com for coin collections in my local area and found a gentleman that had a small smattering of coins and the bills you see laid out in front of you. And he didn't really want much money for it, and I didn't know, just from looking at the pretty bad pictures, there looked like there was a potential for maybe a silver coin or two. At the very least, we know there's going to be some good copper and brass in there. So I went ahead and picked it all up. I've actually been sitting on these coins for a couple of weeks now and figured I would go ahead and hunt them. So as I do this, if you see anything on the table that you know is valuable, or if it's something you're interested in, let me know in the comments down below, and I'm going to give you guys a little warning. I don't hunt a lot of foreign currency, so I'm bound to say some things that are wrong, and feel free to correct me in the comments down below. You're not going to hurt my feelings. So with that said, I'm going to jump into these coins and try to figure out how best to show you what I've found in here, because we don't have time to look at every single coin and denomination in here. So we're going to kick things off with these two Canadian bills, because I am actually going to Canada in December, so this is kind of exciting for me. But we do have this $2 Canadian bill from 1954 and this $1 Canadian bill from 1973. Unfortunately, both are in really bad shape, ratty corners. This one won't even lay flat. This one, from a folds perspective, is in a little bit better shape, but you can see we've got staining, we've got writing. The staining is really evident on the back here, and we have some additional writing. So if there was numismatic value here, it is destroyed. I did go ahead and pull each coin up on, or each bill up on coinsincanada.com, and I'd be looking down here, and definitely the good to about good for probably both of these with the writing and the creases, but only $1 for the $1 Canadian bill. And we are somewhere in that $2 range as well. So at the very least, I have a little bit of walking around money for while I'm in Canada. So next up, we have a couple of bills from Italy. We have a 2,000 lire and a couple of 1,000 lire, or maybe they're 1,000 lire with the mill on them. The two 1,000 banknotes are from 1982. The 2,000 lire note is from, if I recall, 1990. And I did go ahead and look those up on eBay just to get an idea of value, and they're not worth that much. Here's somebody from, shipping it from Bosnia, got $6.90. My bill has writing on it and not near as in good a shape. So this is another one of those. I think that, if I were to try to sell this, here was one actually shipping from the US. They got $3 for it. I would probably list it for $1 and see what I could get. The same holds true for the 1982 bills. Now, these did ship from Germany, and I know you could take advantage of eBay's foreign shipping, but they all look like they were going for about $1. So, if I had to guess here, maybe $1, $1.50 here, $1. We've got about $3 in foreign currency, assuming they would even sell, and that would be pretty lucky, I think, for the condition that they are in. So up next, we have two bills from China. Both are I hope I'm pronouncing this right, one yuan. So they're both, I believe, from like the 80s or 90s. Yeah, this top one's from 1990. I do think they're both very neat bills, but in a second I'll show you they're not worth very much, even if they were in great shape. So these are the kinds of things you just kind of put in your collection and hang on to, because they're just kind of interesting talking pieces, or discussion pieces. But up here, you'll see on the foreign currency and coin exchange, you can actually buy these things. The small bill here I have on the bottom for about a penny, and the larger bill I have on top for about 7 cents. And I'm assuming those are U.S. Denominations. So nothing terribly exciting there. Again, you throw them on eBay, maybe ask for $1, and somebody who's just interested in collecting some Chinese currency might buy it. But nothing major here. So our last bill is this 10 gulden from Amsterdam, from looks like 1968. And again, the bill's not in terrible shape really for being in circulated condition. I mean, it has a number of folds in it. It wouldn't grade very high, but it's also not super duper ratty. Again, I don't think we would pull a lot of money for this, but looking on eBay, it is actually a fairly valuable note. If I come up here to my desktop, you'll see, I mean, here's somebody in VG condition. I see a lot of folds and whatnot in their coin or in their bill as well. So they got $350 plus $420 shipping from Brazil. You know, here's somebody with $479. I did see earlier as I was searching for this bill in really good shape. These were going for quite a bit more money. Let me back up here. Before I searched on circulated, you know, they had people asking up to $100 for some of these in really, really good shape. I realize that's not this bill, but pretty cool find. If I had to put an estimation on it, you know, I might say, hey, let's assume we could make $3 or $4 with it. So that's kind of a neat little find. And we're going to put that aside. And that's our last bill. We're going to move on to the coins. And what I'm going to do first off camera is try to sort them into countries. And then I'm only going to bring you in for the things that I think are interesting or have some value in them. I mean, if they're each worth a penny or two, I'm not going to spend the time going through them. But I'll bring you in as we find cool stuff. So before we jump into the coins, I want to show you one of the main tools that I'm going to use to help get to values and what these coins actually are. It's this little app that you can download. I know they have it on the iPhone. I'm sure they have it for Android as well, called Coinoscope. Something you do need to know is they only let you identify 25 coins a day unless you buy their Pro membership, which starts at like $1.39 or something like that for a 3-month membership. But it's really cool because what you can do is it uses your camera. Let me see if I can find one of the coins I'd laid out here. There we go. All you have to do is get your coin in frame, hit the photo button, and what it's going to do is identify that coin. Now, it may not always get the year right, so you kind of want to look at the coin and make sure you have the right year. So I'm just going to assume this is a 1982 Italian 500 lire. You can click on the link here, like where it says allnumis.com to get to that website to learn more about the coin. Or you can click on estimate value, and here's where you can actually change the year of your coin if you'd like. And when you hit estimate value, it is going to go out to a couple of sources and see what that coin has recently sold for. So you can get a good idea of exactly how much that coin is selling for today. And you'll also notice that there is a vast variety in pricing here. So you want to make sure that the coin you have is actually the same as what you see. So that 500 lire I have is not a silver commemorative, so it's not worth $11.49. Ours looks much more like what you see here on the second option for $1.50. And you can even click on that and get in and verify that the listing is exactly what you have. Now, this is not a sold listing. It's what somebody's currently asking for today. So you may need to dig a little deeper to make sure that coins are selling for that much. But it does help you identify it and get a good idea of where that coin might price out as. So we've sorted through all the change and we've kind of broken it down by country. And you can see we've got a lot of different countries represented up here. I'm not going to be able to remember all of them without looking at each coin, but we had Kuwait, we had Canada. I think we had some Germany, some Deutschmarks there. We had some Asian coins. I'm not going to say these are all Hong Kong Chinese. There could be some Japanese currency in here, but it was all pretty much Asian, except for India, because I have a small pile separately for that. We had the Philippines, we had Denmark, we had the Netherlands, the Bahamas. That's actually just pulled aside because it was an old one. We did end up with a couple of wheat pennies hiding in there. I'll stop here and talk about those for a second. We had a 1940D and a 1955, which is pretty cool. So a couple of wheat pennies in our foreign haul here. We had Panama. Let's see. We did get a combo lock token. So maybe there's $1 million sitting in a locker somewhere and we've got the winning token to open it up, but Lord knows where that is. This was a 10 sol from Peru. We had some old francs from France. Of course, those are no longer any good because they're on the Euro system. We had a ton of Italian lire. Again, those are no longer being used. We had a British shilling. We had a couple of, I think you pronounce this Irie. They're, I think they're from Ireland. I'm trying to remember what we're getting. No, that one was Australian. We had, where was this? This was from Colombia. I feel like we're missing a few. Oh, no, these are the Dominican Republic. These guys were from, Trying to remember. Singapore, that's where they're from. That we had Belize, I think this was Chile, and Brazil. Oh, one more down here. We had 1 peso from 1983, Mexico. So we had a lot of countries represented out here. I'm going to go through these and try to find the ones that are valuable or reasonably valuable, maybe worth more than a couple, $3 or $4. And I'll bring you in, we'll talk about them. I'm not hopeful because I think the oldest coins I had outside of the 1940D penny was like in the mid 60s. So anyway, just sorting these was a lot of fun, trying to figure out what coins belong to which countries. And I got really good at just starting to recognize sort of the designs on the front and backs of the coins, and I knew pretty quickly what country they belonged to. Oh, I also missed these two. I had one from Israel, and I had a couple from India, a couple of small coins from India. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sort through these again and try to find something valuable, and I will bring you in and we'll talk about it. All right, well, we've finished going through all of the coins you see here on the table. We took the time to coinoscope every single one of them. We were able to identify every coin and some kind of value, either from, some coin website or from eBay, mostly eBay. We did also use the estimate value from Coinoscope, but since it was mainly pulling back eBay prices, I just looked them up on the computer because it was easier. Of course, Coinoscope didn't identify our combo token, and there was this one coin that for a while I was convinced would be some kind of like Middle Eastern coin. It took me a while to find it, but this is actually an Aladdin token. What looks like from Las Vegas. I'll throw it up on the screen for an eBay listing that I found. But I also remember there was the Aladdin's Castle video game store from the 80s. So, where you could go in and play arcade games at the mall. And maybe it came from one of those, but it likely came from Vegas. So that was a pretty cool find just by itself. Now that said, I do want to bring you over here to the computer. I did pull out a handful full of coins that I've taken some close-up video on, and I'll throw them up on the screen as I go through them. But these were the coins that kind of had some decent value to them. Now, the numbers I'm going to show you are maybe not the average sale prices, but I did find relatively, I won't say recent sales, but sales where these sold for a decent amount of money. But keeping in mind that I do have a spreadsheet here where I tried to more accurately estimate sort of what the average sale prices were rather than what the high sale prices were. And I've got a few notes over here for ones that sold for a decent amount of money. So that said, the first one I want to talk about here is this 1975 Bangladesh 25 Poisha. The one I have is in really, really nice shape. And if you could get $4.99 for this and get it in an envelope and ship it out, that would be an awesome little sale. I have no idea. I don't think I would get $4.99 if I tried to sell it today, because I can come down here and see there was, $2.50 and they had to take a best offer. Here's somebody $5.30 with $40.96 shipping. I have no idea how that got through. But there were lots of examples of this coin that in the sold listings that were nowhere near this, $5 or $6 kind of range. Most of them were $1, $2, $3. So that said, it was a very pretty coin, and I just wanted you guys to have a look at it. This coin, this is the 1974 Morocco. It is absolutely gorgeous. I do think it's a very, very pretty coin. Again, this is actually a sold listing for $3.95, but not all of them were this high. You can see just on this page, here's $1.99, $1.25, so on and so forth. So it is a pretty coin, and again, for something I got really, really inexpensively, if you could sell this for a couple, $2 or $3, even after eBay fees, not a bad little turnaround for your money. The next coin I wanted to pull here was this Kuwait coin. It's a 50 fils, if I'm pronouncing that right. Here's another sold example. We've got $4.99 plus $3.90 shipping, and then one coin right below it for 55 cents with $1.50 shipping. So you can see, again, a little bit all over the place, and maybe condition plays in here. I didn't take a really close look, but I know when I average this out, I think I used like $1 or $2 for my average, but you can see here's another one for $4. So another one of those coins, you could try to flip it or just hang on to it for your collection, because if it's worth $4 or $5 today, who knows where it'll be in 5 or 10 years. So this one surprised me. Now, this is a 10-cent Netherlands coin. It is super duper small. You can see from the video that I'm throwing up here on the right, it's a very, very small coin. It's made of, if I recall, like stainless steel or nickel. It was magnetic. But really, really shocked to see people trying to get, $6 and $7 for it. I mean, even at $1 here, the person wants $6 in shipping. So it seems to be pretty common for people to try to get $5 or $6 for this itty bitty, basically 10-cent piece from 1983. Now, this 1980 Peru 10 Sol coin, not as much value as some of the other coins, but I just thought it was really pretty. Now, you'll see the one I have, the condition is not quite there. I wish it was in an AU condition because I think it is a gorgeous, gorgeous coin. But nothing super special about it other than I fancied it. I thought it was kind of nice. So I would hang on to it if it were in better condition. This is another one that surprised me. This is a Hong Kong 20-cent coin from 1998. Or mine might be 1997 or 95. I can't remember exactly. But again, we have people out there selling for $5.48. Here's somebody wanting $10.95. I think a lot of the sold listings were a lot less than that, though. But, I had people trying to sell it for enough that I wanted to call it out for you. And then this was actually one of my favorite coins, this Hong Kong coin right here. Again, not huge sales, but I just think it's a really, really pretty coin, and it is a 50-cent piece. And again, even if you only got $2 or $3 for it, I thought it was pretty cool. As for the age of the coins that I have, I'll throw some video up of the older coins so you can see them. But honestly, the oldest coin we have, and it didn't sort right in my Excel sheet here, was actually this U.S. wheat cent at 1940. It was a Denver, and that's why the D on there made it sort out of order. But the oldest coin we found was this 1940 wheat cent. From there, we got this German 10 Pfennig, 1950, and decent value on that from eBay. We had the Italy 5 lire from 1954, decent little value on that at $1.25. Unfortunately, this 1955 wheat cent, no double die, no poor man's double die. I think I just grabbed the red book value from Very Good and threw it in there. And then the rest of these were kind of from the early 60s. This Denmark 5 ore, the Hong Kong 50-cent piece we already looked at, again, about $2. And you can see over here what I was talking about earlier in the video. Copper-plated steel, a lot of aluminum, bronze, copper, nickel. Nothing really valuable from a precious metal standpoint outside of some of the copper and brass, because brass is 90-something% copper typically. That said, taking our average eBay prices, taking 15% off that, if you could part these things out and not go broke shipping these things, I had about $75 worth of individual sales. If you could actually get the prices that I estimated in here, but a great deal of this would be eaten up in shipping, honestly. I wouldn't take the time to part it out. If I were to sell something like this, I would just put it in a big lump sum, point out the more valuable coins to make the lot a little bit more attractive, and just sell the whole lot in one go. That said, in the time it's taken me to film this video, I did find a woman on Nextdoor who responded to my ad where I'm looking for coins to say she has 2 children actually who have been bitten by the bug of coin collecting, and she was looking for some foreign coins to give them for Christmas. So what I'm going to do is wrap up these coins and give them to her so she can pass on the love of this hobby to her children. So I'm excited to get to do that, and she doesn't know I'm going to give them to her. She was like, "Oh, I didn't want to spend more than about $20 on them, but I'm just going to give her these coins because, quite frankly, I don't need her money, and I'm just happy to pass along some of this coin collecting bug to her children." So anyway, that is the coin collection that we got from Nextdoor. I didn't take close-ups of every single coin, but if you have questions about any of the coins you see here on the table, I do have my notes for my Excel sheet, obviously, and I'd love to answer any questions you might have. If you think I'm crazy for giving these away, let me know that in the comments down below as well. If you're new to the channel, this is my first foreign hunt, and I'm still trying to figure out how to make this interesting for you guys, as well as making it interesting for me. But normally I do a lot of U.S. coin roll hunts, and we do talk about silver from time to time in my silver purchases through various online bullion dealers and other coin buys from places like Nextdoor or Craigslist or Facebook. But if you enjoyed my video, please consider clicking on that subscribe button. Click on that little bell and select all so you get notified each and every time I release a new video. Let me know what you thought of this one, if it was a waste of your time or if you thought it was interesting. Just let me know in the comments down below. Outside of that, I hope you're all doing well. We're getting close to Christmas. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. Happy New Year, all that good stuff. But take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.